Gifts and passions. These are two things that I've been trying to figure out how they connect to each other. What is your gift? What is your passion? Are they the same things? Or are they two separate things completely? Or does one feel the other? Some time ago, I remember watching a video by Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe, great intellectual and minister who passed away, unfortunately, in a plane crash a few years back. And his video, he talks about our giftings, the things that we've been given by God, put in us, that really is the purpose or the reason behind the work that we're doing in this life. He also talked about passion, that fuel that ignites that gift, that sets that gift ablaze so that the whole world can see it. And it's interesting because I've been asking myself lately, what is my passion? What is that thing that fuels my gift? But then at the same time, what is my gift? I can easily say being an educator and the work that I've done for the past 17 years is hand in hand my gift and my passion. And to a certain extent, yes. But however, your gift, that thing that you are really good at, that sometimes it doesn't make sense why you're so comfortable in that space and that with that thing, is something that often appears really early on in your life as a child. But what ends up happening is the adults around you, because they are trying to reflect upon you the things that they believe about themselves, they dissuade you from your gift, or better, they don't even recognize it as a gift. So they try to create alternative universes for you to live in outside of your gift. So you develop passions around the things that someone else tells you should be passionate about. But your passion and your gift is supposed to exist in the same plane because one ignites the other. As a child, I remember always having a camera, at least as early as, man, I would say as early as probably about 9 or 10. I remember having a camera, taking pictures. They were not very good, but I was fascinated by capturing things, capturing moments. And for a period of time, a lot of pictures of my family in the family album I took, with my little 16 millimeter camera, with the little film in there. You kind of like, there's like rectangular boxes. You kind of slide and take pictures, and you wouldn't know what the pictures look like until you had them developed. And I begged my mother to develop them, and you have to pay for them. It's not like now it's digital that you can see the picture as soon as you take it. It wasn't treated as a gift. It was treated as something that was just, something to pass the time, something that kept me busy. And when I got to college, I majored in biomedical engineering because as a Nigerian child, grew up in a Nigerian household, you're told that there are only three acceptable things for you to do with your life: be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. Me being an overachiever, I chose to major in biomedical engineering. Biology, medical, and engineering. Hey, I was trying to be like Deion Sanders. So I figured I could be a two career, intellect. But what's interesting is during those years, I just could not connect with it. No matter how good I was in science and engineering, I just wasn't passionate about it. I just really didn't care. And it's something to be said about being fully engaged in a thing, and I just couldn't be fully engaged in it. One of the things that I had to do to graduate was take an arts class as part of my general studies requirements. And what I ended up doing was I took a film course and not because it was intentional, it was just because it was what was available and required the least amount of work, in my opinion. We're going to watch some films, we're going to write about it. And the course itself was about anarchists and rebel groups in society. So we watched films like Easy Rider about motorcycle gangs. We watched movies like and documentaries about the Black Panther Party and fringe groups. And I was completely enthralled by these films and by this class. Like I was so like wow. And it wasn't just the stories. I was just like fascinated by the way things were shot, the imagery, the storytelling, and I got into it. And over the course of the next few semesters, I just kept on sneaking in another course here, another course there in film and media studies. Took a production class, and before you knew it, I had enough credits to legitimately be a film major. Like, this engineering thing is not cracking, and it's taking way too much energy for me to try to do something that I just wasn't passionate about. And I figured, since I hadn't found my passion, let me just get this film degree and just get out and not drag this any longer. So that's what I did. I changed my major to film. Told my father. He was pissed. He was so pissed. I think he's still angry to a certain extent to this day. And my only redeeming factor is the fact that I became successful as an educator. But yeah, I got a degree in film, and when I graduated, I just told myself my only other option now is to become a lawyer, because again, it's either medicine, engineering, or law. And with my bachelor's degree in film and media studies, I can become an entertainment law. And I did prepare to go to law school, and I was giving myself 2 years to prepare for this LSAT to get a high enough score to get into a USC or UCLA. And in the interim, I decided to go to New York and teach, because a lot of people do that. They go teach or do something that's socially admirable for society, and then they go off to law school. And I moved to New York, and what was supposed to be a 2-year commitment in New York turned into 17 years. So someone can say, well, I found my passion as an educator. My first year as a teacher, because of my major in film, I had a principal who asked me if I was willing to teach an art class, because there were some kids who needed to graduate who needed an art credit. So I taught a film class, and that was like within my first 2 years. And I was just thinking, again, this is not, in my opinion, this was not me, tapping into a gift. This was just me performing as an educator, and this is something my principal needed from me. I went on to other schools. I taught film classes. I taught these other elective courses, never really thinking much about it. And then I worked at schools as a principal, where I became really engaged in branding the school, so documenting things and recording short mini documentaries and photography, and building the school's website and catching images and videos so the world could see what we're doing in our schools. Again, not thinking about the connection between what I was doing and potential of a gift or a talent or a passion. It was just what I was doing for my job. Then I started a YouTube channel, and if you see my YouTube channel, I've done everything. I've talked about sneakers, I've talked about credit cards, just anything to get in front of a camera and to be behind the camera and record things and to play with these technologies. Again, not thinking anything about passion or gifts. And here I am now, post my resignation from education, working in the school building, resigning as a principal of 2 schools, a middle school and a high school. And my new work I love, because it gives me a space and time to still serve in education, but also time to really explore my other interests. And a big interest of mine clearly is creating content and creating video and audio and my podcasts. And it's just now that I'm realizing that my gift has always been in creating sound and image and the space of creating content, filmmaking, audio production. These are things that honestly, I would have to tell you, a lot of things that I do now, I didn't learn in college. I just kind of picked it up. I went to YouTube University to learn these things. And it's not easy, but it was easy for me. And a big part of it has to do with the fact that I've always been passionate about this space. If I could go back to college and do this all over again, and without the distractions and the fears of what would my parents think, I probably would have really hunkered down in film, and maybe would have been a filmmaker. I don't know. But the one thing about your gift, you can't run away from it. It's always there, even if you don't recognize it. Even when you try to push it back and not accept that it's there. And that's why I'm making this video, because I wanted to share the story with somebody who's watching right now, who has a gift and might know what it is, but is afraid of tapping into it because you've been told by society that it's frivolous and you need to do something more stable and more realistic. But the world was not built on realism or people who were realistic. The world was built by people who were like, you know what, I have to pursue this dream and this passion of mine and explore this thing in my head or this thing in my heart that I need to make sense of, because it just won't go away. Those are the people who've created all that we see around us. Somebody needed to capture images on film and then digitize it, and I'm able to do this here. So I just want to say this to you. What is your gift? What is your passion? What are the things that you're not, allowing yourself to explore? Because you might be much happier in those spaces. The fact that I have more time now to explore the space makes me incredibly happy and makes me incredibly excited about the possibilities of the future. Yes, someone might say, "Hey, man, you spent the best part of your years doing something different." But was I? Was I doing something really different? Because if people without me recognize it, I was always dabbling in this in my gift and my passion. And now I have so much more knowledge and I have a perspective that I want to share. I'm going to utilize this medium of content creation. So, yeah, what is your gift? What is your passion? Explore it and let me know. Talk to you soon, all right? Peace.